Have you ever wondered why some people can say no so easily while you agonize over the smallest request? Why some people set boundaries like it's nothing, while you'd rather disappear than cause any friction? Here's something that might surprise you. It's not that you lack aggression. You actually have more of it than you realize. You've just learned to hide it, even from yourself. What aggression really means. Let's clear something up first. When psychologists talk about aggression in social contexts, they're not talking about violence or hostility. They're talking about something much more fundamental: the ability to advocate for yourself, to express your needs, to say no when something doesn't work for you, to push back against unreasonable demands, to take up space in a room without apologizing for existing. That's it. That's aggression in the healthy sense, the capacity to protect yourself and make your voice heard. Why you struggle to show it. If you're socially anxious, you probably recognize this pattern. Someone asks you for something unreasonable, and instead of declining, you feel your throat tighten. Your mind races through worst-case scenarios. What if they get angry? What if they stop liking me? What if this ruins everything? So you say yes, again, and you hate yourself a little for it. Again. This isn't weakness. This is a survival strategy you learned a long time ago. Maybe you grew up in an environment where expressing anger wasn't safe. Maybe showing your needs led to criticism, disappointment, or punishment. Maybe you were praised for being easy, mature, or no trouble at all. Maybe you learned that the safest way to exist was to make yourself small, agreeable, invisible. Your nervous system took notes. It learned that expressing needs equals danger, that boundaries cause conflict, that conflict destroys relationships, and relationships for a child means survival. So your aggression didn't disappear. It went underground. Where does it go? Here's the thing about suppressed aggression. It doesn't vanish. It just finds other exits. Maybe it turns inward. You become your own harshest critic. You replay conversations for hours, attacking yourself for every awkward pause, every wrong word. You hold yourself to impossible standards, and when you inevitably fall short, you're merciless. Maybe it shows up in your body, the tension in your shoulders that never quite releases, the knot in your stomach before social situations, the racing heart, the shallow breathing, the way your jaw clenches without you noticing. Maybe it leaks out sideways, through passive resistance, through avoidance, through that cold distance you create when you're actually furious but can't admit it. Or maybe it builds and builds until one day you snap over something tiny and everyone, including you, is shocked by the intensity. None of this is dysfunction. It's your psyche trying to protect you while still honoring the energy that needs somewhere to go. The people who genuinely don't have this problem. Now, here's an interesting contrast. Some people really do seem unbothered. They're not suppressing anything. They're just genuinely relaxed. They don't notice when someone crosses a line because they don't have strong lines to begin with. They don't worry about being judged because other people's opinions simply don't register as important. They're not calm because they've mastered their emotions. They're calm because there's less turbulence to master. That's not you. And honestly, that's not necessarily better. Your sensitivity, your awareness of others, your deep capacity for connection, these come from the same place as your anxiety. The goal isn't to become someone who doesn't care. The goal is to care and still protect yourself. Finding your way back to your own power. So what does healing look like? It's not about becoming aggressive in the way you fear. It's not about suddenly turning cold or confrontational or difficult. It's about reclaiming the right to exist fully, with needs, with preferences, with boundaries. Start ridiculously small. Express a minor preference when it doesn't matter much. Tell someone which restaurant you'd actually prefer. Mention when you're cold and need the window closed. These aren't big moments, but they're practice. They're teaching your nervous system that having needs doesn't end in disaster. Practice saying no to someone safe, a close friend, a family member who loves you unconditionally. Feel the discomfort. Notice that the relationship survives. Let that evidence accumulate. Pay attention to your body. When do you tense up? When do you stop breathing fully? Those physical signals are information. They're telling you when you're abandoning yourself. And maybe most importantly, Start believing that you deserve to take up space. Not because you've earned it, not because you're exceptional, but because you exist, and that's enough. The real goal. You're not trying to become someone who doesn't care about others. You're trying to become someone who cares about others and yourself, at the same time, in equal measure. Someone who can be warm without being a doormat, considerate without being invisible, kind without being self-abandoning. Your aggression isn't a flaw to eliminate. It's a resource to reclaim. It's the part of you that knows you matter, that your needs are valid, that you have every right to be here, taking up exactly as much space as you need. You learn to silence that voice for good reasons. But those reasons belong to the past. It's time to let yourself be heard.